fellas, I want to talk about this transmission. Towing 20,000 pounds behind it. It is a tandem dual, so it has a little bit more drag, but I'm not worried about that drag. 20,000 pounds and some change behind this pickup. And I want to talk about the transmission strategy, how it tows. I'm going to talk a lot about my 23 in comparison. So from the get-go, the 23 strategy was okay until you got into heavier, and I would categorize this as heavier, and then at that point the transmission would be lost. I mean, we're talking like 10, 7, 9, 5, well, maybe not 5, but 6. I've seen it hit 6 a few times, and it'll just jam it into 9th, 10th, or 10th. Not like, it won't do even a pattern like 9, 10. It'll go 10, 7, 10, 6. I mean, you had to intervene before that thing will drive itself into it. And I did, to be fair, I had one of the first 23s out there. It was job one. Anyways, this thing is the complete opposite. They put a lot of emphasis in tuning into having this transmission hold the gear. Now, to be fair with my 23, I put it through the ringer. Not only did I have a lot of weight on it, I had a lot of drag. It was 5 containers. Props to the customer, and my driver wasn't paying attention to what they were loading. The guy loading them wasn't paying attention, so he didn't inform my driver, but the paperwork stated there was 2 10-footer containers in a 20-foot container. No, there's 2 8-foot containers in a 20-foot container. That's what they did. So there was 3 containers in, so what looked to be 1 container. I don't know how they did what they did, but they were able to. They managed to put them in there. So my driver didn't notice that, and he loaded it. It was too heavy, and at that point the facility was closed. So it took. I just intervened, so hey, let me take care of this one. That's how I ended up with that obnoxious load with the 23. I'm not going to put my 24, at least I'm hoping not to put my 24 through something like that at a young age. But with the 20,000 miles, it's holding the gear phenomenal, like just fabulously. Soul me, does it ever shift? Like, I mean, this thing barely shifts at a 10th. It's really low RPM. I don't know how I feel about that. The rear end is a 355, so it makes it easier. That multiplied torque is to its advantage versus the 331s. It's on factory wheels. There are specific tires I'm going with, and here in the near future I'll be installing them. I'm going for true 35s. Hell, they're even bigger than that. I think they're 35.4s. I'll share that another time. But as far as this transmission goes, I'm very impressed. Given the power that this engine has, this transmission is shifting phenomenally. Under load on XL, it doesn't slam gears and it doesn't unlock the torque converter. It's kind of like slow and steady to shift, which I absolutely love. That's why I love the Isons. You know, those Isons really. Here we got a scenario. You know, what do we? It's kind of surprising how low the RPM is. What is that? 1,500 RPM, maybe 1,400. And it's trying to lug itself. It isn't tow haul, right? It has the little symbols, so the truck knows it's towing. I'm just letting it do its thing. I mean, if it was up to me, I'd probably be 8th or 9th gear right now, just kind of keeping it under 2, but closer, you know, a lot closer to 2,000 RPM, but still under 2,000. I guess the engineers know better, and we'll just leave it at that for now. I showed you the load already. It's just heavy, dense steel. It is aerodynamic, which helps significantly. There's no comparison. I mean, I'd much rather haul something heavy and aerodynamic than lighter in a big old parachute, you know, like a container. Containers stress out trucks like crazy. And people don't think about leverage that it has on wheels. I'll probably talk about that in another video. The high center gravity loads really screw with your center gravity. It's not just for the safety, but it's the way it affects your equipment. But that's a conversation for another time. What I gotta say, I am very pleased with this 24's transmission strategy. It does not build the transmission heat, meaning it doesn't burn itself or it doesn't run itself where it's building a lot of heat. This transmission's been hanging out between 201 and 204, and that's around town, you know, probably 20, 25 minutes of driving around town and on the interstate. rear wheel, and I almost feel like there's too much power for a truck like this. I mean, I don't feel like that we're anywhere near its limit. I feel like my next curious spot would be about 25,000 pounds behind this truck. If I could do it legally, I will, and we'll see. I just gotta most likely get a heavier trailer. I got a 40-footer tandem duals on this one.